What is going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. We are going to go over the Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni end of the year press conference that we kind of been waiting for. Take these with a grain of salt because they don't really, they're not going to give away what they're doing in the offseason. Obviously, the draft and everything else, firings. I mean, we kind of get a glimpse of what they're talking about with the roster, and hopefully they give out some answers, which we do have a few answers here, and obviously we have some question marks too. Now, it looks like Jalen Hurts is going to be the starting quarterback in 2022. So this question was asked 2 times. This question was asked twice. Okay, Jalen Hurts being the quarterback in 22 is great. It's good. I think it's good for your roster. You want to see him get better. And obviously there's fans that just can't, look, and I was pissed about that playoff game, all right? This is smart for your roster. You got to use what you have. Use what you have in your draft capital. Use what you have in your cap space, okay? You have to use everything this year, okay? I'm not saying use all your money, but I'm just saying you have to build this roster around Jalen Hurts and this defense. You have to build this roster. Okay, because going after and trading for a veteran quarterback, wasting a first-round pick, because that's what you're going to be giving up. You waste a first-round pick on a veteran quarterback, you're just wasting a talent that could have been on this team in this draft. Okay, for a long time. We can't do that. This year is not the year to do that. Okay, you leave your quarterback alone. He succeeds. He doesn't. Then you have your answer, and we get a higher draft pick next year at the end of the day. I don't want this team to look that bad next year, but I think this team can get further. I think this team can get better in the passing game. It's really up to Jalen Hurts at the end of the day and the coaching staff, okay? But this is the smart move. There's no Joe Burrow in this draft, okay? There's nothing here that excites me. There's, by 23, yeah, you might have a couple prospects where the Eagles could trade one of those first-round picks back, have another first-round pick for 23. This way you got 2 first-round picks for that year in case they have to go get a quarterback. And if they don't, then they draft another prospect. So I think you have to keep building this roster. There's no point in trading for a quarterback or going in the draft for one. So just wanted to talk about that. So Hurts is the starting quarterback. So obviously, because the Eagles have 3 first-round picks, we're going to hear nonstop about quarterbacks being available. Say Derek Carr might be available, or some quarterbacks might be available, and they're going to link them to the Eagles. They're going to link every quarterback to the Eagles. So we're going to hear that nonstop this offseason. So, yeah, it's going to happen. Now, secondly, about the roster. Now, Nick Sirianni was asked about Jonathan Gannon, and just the coaching staff. Michael Clay, special teams coordinator. They say specific names because Michael Clay shouldn't be here. And obviously, Jonathan Gannon had 3 interviews. 3 interviews for head coaching jobs already. Okay, so Nick's answer to, the coaching staff in general is that he is in still the evaluation period. So when these coaches are in these press conferences and they say evaluation period, it pretty much means that their jobs are not safe. That there's a lot of coaches on this roster, on this staff right now, that is not safe. And Gannon's job is probably not. Probably not. One of the most passive defenses I've ever seen. Okay, and we need a change. I didn't see a flash of anything this year what this defense could look like. There was no flash. There was nothing. You didn't know how to use it. You had no pass rush. Everything was on your secondary this year. Your secondary was pretty much the best thing because obviously, and your linebackers didn't play too bad this year. I thought T.J. Edwards played great. I thought we see some great strides out of Jannard Avery and Davion Taylor when he was healthy. So, there are a lot of good things to this defense to add to that can make it so much better. But when Nick says that we're in an evaluation period with the coaching staff, no one's job is safe as of right now. If Gannon was going to be the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles going into 2022, I think he would have pretty much said yes, that was going to happen as of right now. So we'll see. But very interesting. Now, Nick Sirianni talks about the receivers And obviously, a few receivers, the starting receivers for the Philadelphia Eagles, Devontae Smith being the number one guy. I mean, he talks about Devontae Smith being the number one and how they should treat him as being the number one. Oh, he could beat man-to-man coverage, but yet you don't pass to him. Yet he has not enough receptions for the year. Yet they're not using him the right way. So that's why I question that. Now, Quez Watkins had 647 yards this year. This is the fourth best as an Eagles receiver since I don't even know when. I mean, this is good production from Quez Watkins. There were some bad passes from Jalen Hurts that Quez came back for early in the year that were some tough catches to make. He made some really tough catches this year. Quez Watkins going into another year, it's going to be really interesting. Now, Nick has talked about Quez being a really good number two. And I can see it because he's been open a lot of times this year. All right. And he's only going to get better and better as time goes on. But then you get to the news that you don't want to hear. Okay. The news that you don't want to hear is Jalen Reagor. That, quote unquote, they're trying to drag the talent out of him. What are you forcing? Okay. What are you forcing with Jalen Reagor at this point? What are you trying to force out of him? They're literally saying, Howie literally said in his press, the talent's there, we're trying to drag it out of him. Like, what? Like, if he's got no mentality for the game, what is he supposed to do? Like, stop forcing this. Stop forcing it. It's just getting to that point. It gets so annoying after I hear it over and over again. And not even just that, but Howie Roseman says, quote unquote, that he likes Jalen Reagor in a wide receiver 3 spot. Compliments to his talent? What? Why? Why would you? Compliments to his talent. He's a good in a number 3 spot. This is God, this is annoying. Like, this is annoying. Now, I understand Howie's not going to say anything bad about him, okay? I understand that. So, I mean, maybe this is a cover-up just because he has to say something good. I don't know what it is. But changes are going to have to be made. Reagor is going to have more talent around him. Or, I mean, is going to have more talent for competition around him to see if he can make this roster next year. Because Howie Roseman has already said in this press conference, their main thing this year is to build and put more talent around Jalen Hurts, which should tell you this should open up for a Calvin Ridley trade, a Mike Williams in free agency, a Chris Godwin in free agency. I don't even care who it is. But that specifically could tell us that they could get a wide receiver at this point, which, hey, that's what I want. Bring more competition. I don't even care if they make Quez opposite of Devontae Smith and go get a really twitchy, solid slot receiver if that's what they really wanted to do. So there's like a couple combinations that they could do with this roster as of right now. And then lastly, there's a couple more things, but importantly with Jason Whiteside, okay, you got to hear this because this made me laugh. Howie says that he views J-Jaw as an enforcer. Like he's some dangerous wide receiver. An enforcer as a blocking wide receiver. I'm tired of this. Stop justifying these picks. It's over. It's done with. It's just done. I mean, the enforcer as a blocking tight end with 3-4 receptions. Not only J.J. Whiteside is a wasted roster spot because what roster in the NFL has a guy in there just to block as a wide receiver? Who does that? I really don't know. And Jalen Reagor is the same thing. Who compliments this guy as I think he's a good number 3 wide receiver. We're trying to drag the talent out of him. We know he has the talent. The guy can't even beat man-to-man coverage. I mean, he can't. So, I don't know what the answer is. I hope this is just a smokescreen. I hope because they kind of, the beat writers kind of kind of cornered them in this press conference that they just have to say something good because it's the press conference. I don't know. Okay. Now, when it comes down to Brandon Graham was talked about as well, that they're excited about him coming back too, which is good, so they're excited, and I think Brandon Graham will be back next year. I don't think anything's going to happen. I thought he was a free agent. I guess he's not. I checked his contract. He's on contract for another few years, which I had no idea. I thought he was a free agent this year for some weird reason. But from what it looks like, he's going to be back, and it sounds like he's going to be back. So I don't think he's going anywhere, because that was a big loss for the defensive line this year. You lost your voice, you lost your leadership, and obviously Fletcher Cox was struggling with him not being on his side. So, there's a lot of moves that the Eagles have to make. But I thought this was a good press conference. I thought it was a good laugh, too, at the same time. But you're not going to get all the answers. Howie Roseman's not going to give away his whole plan of the offseason, okay? So I think the key elements to this whole thing is that coaches are not safe as of right now. Jalen Hurts is your starting quarterback for 2022, okay? And, you have a lot going for you with the draft capital and the cap space. Build your roster and get this thing done. At least they're praising Quez Watkins. And Nick really likes Quez a lot. And Nick likes, guys that, young players that are really good with the route running, and Quez has been open a lot of times this year. I mean, I wish somebody made film on how many times Quez was open all year, because it would be amazing to see that. You know what I mean? And I think, how third, I think the last thing I could say is Howie Roseman talking about they're still going to build around Jalen Hurts and give him more weapons, which means that, yeah, we could see a trade for a wide receiver, or we could sign a free agent. I think it's going to happen. And Quez being here should be it. But if you're going to build around Jalen Hurts still, but yet you're saying Jalen Reagor is a good number 3, but yet you still want to build and add more weapons to Jalen Hurts, I just don't get it. Reagor's going to be done, and JJ's going to be done too. If you bring in another receiver, that's going to knock JJ out of there, and Reagor, as of this point. You don't have Reagor, you don't have JJ, I can't even think right now. If you don't have Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, and whoever the free agent wide receiver is sitting there in that starting lineup the whole entire game, and there's not enough production next year, then it's going to turn into a coaching problem at the end of the day. So I don't know. But I'm not going to make this too long. But that was the press conversation. Some key important parts to it, but very exciting. So other than that, guys, I will see you guys later. Chicks, what up, follow slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.